Hello, everybody. I haven't been able to follow along, but I'll catch up and read what's up here in a little bit. How is everyone that's present and chatting? Yeah, it's my pop asthma. I am okay-ish. I am grateful. Pixie's donation last night made it so that I could buy my kiddo like some frozen pizzas today and some milk and some soda pop. I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, butter. So I am trying to focus on gratitude and not panic. How about that? Hello, Amanda. I'm very glad to hear that. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about your mother-in-law. I know that that's scary. But I also am very glad to hear that you have a negative test result and that you guys have separate living spaces these days. So that you can, sort of keep the germs away from each other for a little while. You refreshed the PBJ today. Does that mean you got more peanut butter, basically, or does that mean something else that I don't understand? I imagine so. Did your little get tested also? A new jar. Woo-hoo-hoo. You know what? I think we did too. Every week, because everybody here knows how groceries have been, and every week I like do the rounds, or maybe not every week, but every shop, and look at like every store, and they fluctuate so much, like so much. Like one week, the most expensive place will be a certain chain, right? And then, so you think, oh, I'll just avoid that chain, but then if you actually bother to look, the next 10 days later or whatever, they're the least expensive, right? And all of a sudden their eggs aren't $7, their eggs are $3.59, and their milk is $5 instead of $8, and then the store you think was safe has gone up. So anyway, the point is today the inexpensive peanut butter was at Target. I'm sure there's people that do that, right? I mean, I know there used to be on the internet like a group of people that like sort of made it into a business. Like they generated a business out of like updating where the good sales were and stuff. And I used to, or where the inexpensive groceries were and all that kind of stuff. So I used to use that a lot, like, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago. But then it sort of turned into just like this ad space where it was all run by bots and none of the coupons there actually were like functional and none of the people updating were human and it got weird. So I think like if somebody had interest even in just doing that locally for their community, like following the rise and fall of sales and things like that and posting somewhere on media, they could literally make a job out of it because people, if people paid literally like, I don't know, $5 a month just to keep on that site, it'd be worth their money to save all of that on groceries because there's not humans doing it anymore, and this is a time where that could be really useful actually. Does your mother-in-law, does she work out of the house? I'm not really sure what her story is, where she would have come into contact with, I mean, anywhere. The answer is anywhere, but I just mean, um, is she out of the home a lot? That's pretty okay for here. 25 minutes. There's a few stores, like Aldi seems to follow, like if you're doing pickup and you send the message, hey, I'm coming for pickup, they seem to be really orderly and you don't wait in line very long, but everywhere else here it's pretty long. Uh-oh, wonder where that came from then. How is she feeling? Like, is she, I know not well, but is she safe? Yeah, that's good. That's good when everyone can know because people can just literally mask up at home and help her out, but still know what's going on. Oh, yeah. I keep waiting. Like the storm warnings have come all day, and my bones, like they agree with the storm warnings, but it still hasn't. Like we haven't seen flakes yet here. Hungover. Oh, that's yucky. Especially when you don't get to have the fun first. My days have been a combination of feeling really long and really short. So I'm not sure how long it's been for you, Manda. Are you back to streaming yet on your social media, or is it not quite time? Can you join your guild on that one too, or your, oh my gosh, league, right? That's okay, Liz. How are you today? Okay, so that's good. So the league is just, they will grow. They will grow that other channel. It's just started later. That's amazing. I'm so glad for you, Liz. But it was pretty good too, because I bet it was like the only other grown-ups were there were not people that always try to restrict how things go between you guys, which I'm sure was a huge relief and really exciting. Feel you there, Amanda. Read and read and read and make no dollars. Now some of that's on me, but not all of it. Oh, last night. Okay, so this was weird and strange. So last night, after I was done streaming here, I hopped on over to Discord, and I've never tried to stream there before at all. But when you're on StreamYard, it tells, like, when I'm on my StreamYard, it says, "Hey, where do you want to stream to?" And then it lists like my YouTube accounts, right, that it was about, and then it lists um, my Discord, right? And I don't really even know completely how Discord works yet. So there's that. But I guess I just thought it was a place to have a server where we all could chat, and I didn't really know what would happen. So anyway, I was curious. So I hit live stream, and immediately there was one person there, right? And they were like, "Hey, I saw you. You're one of like the 29 channels that are listed as doing tarot or whatever here, and I'm interested. It's an interest of mine too. And I saw you lit up, so I came over." And I was like, "Cool. Where do I even find this?" Like, that person was really patient. I don't really even know who they are, but they were very patient and sort of sat there and talked with me while I looked on my phone to try and figure out, like, can I see this stream? Is there a place where I can notify other people about the stream? Does the stream get saved? I still don't know. Like, I stayed there for like 25 minutes just trying to, like, well, chatting with that person who was very nice, and then just seeing if doing that means it would show up in posts somewhere. Nope. Nope. And they also said, the nice person said, "I saw you on Twitch." And it was like, are am I forgetting something? Like, are Twitch and Discord connected? So when I go live through Discord, it's technically Twitch. Like, I don't even know. So I just streamed to one person, and they were very lovely people, but you know, we talked a little bit about tarot, and then I was like, "Sorry, I wish I was more focused." They were like, "That's okay, that's okay." So we just talked about like decks we liked, and I got out of there. And the 2 or 3 times I've looked today, I can't freaking find. Yeah, I downloaded the app on my phone, and like I can see, like, when I started it a while back and we all sort of joined together, and in the beginning people were leaving messages there and using it to talk to each other, which was great. Um it's the start of the hashtag tarot decks channel. I just like clicked on it, right? So like I can see you guys offline. I can see Kat and Joe and Life Was Beautiful, which is Joe, Joseph King, and Manda and Pixie, right? Um like as if I could text you, but like I don't see any stinking thing at all about um where the heck to find anything happened yesterday. So dumb. And it's super duper dumb. It's awesome because it's ridiculous, I think. But like, if I can't figure out how to find people or where to post to or any of that, I think it's probably, not the right channel. Maybe Twitch is. Or maybe there's a couple of tarot streaming platforms that have popped up lately, like in my ad space. So I'm gonna have to take a look at those too. I'm sorry you've been crying so much today. I'm sorry. I just sort of looked up for the most part. Are you still on steroids? Hi to everyone in the room who is not speaking. I'm glad you're here. Quiet or no. I'll turn on the camera really briefly to do my shoe of the day, and then probably turn it back off, since right now anyway we're not doing readings, and I'm slugging, moisturizer wise. I know I was just finished my second round of antibiotics and I still don't feel right. How long ago? So, well, my family, we found out, actually were extremely allergic, not just sensitive, like dangerously allergic to a wide variety of steroids, right? Including the type, that you were on. And, so for us, the emotional flare is extreme, but so is a lot of other stuff that happens physically. But because of that, I've been in a lot of forums where people are hypersensitive or even mildly sensitive or whatever to these different things, and it can take sort of weeks for the body to rebalance after ceasing the use of that. Hi, Miss Krista, how are you? A week and a half ago, and were you on them like? I keep losing track of time. Were you on them for like 3.5, 4 weeks? Just finished homework. Was it mathematics tonight, or a different subject? High dosage, yeah. I think honestly, I mean, I understand like you likely have other stuff going on, and I'm not trying to minimize it, but I do think that, feeling sort of as raw as you've been feeling, some of that is still due to that medicine. I just feel really certain of that. And I know that it's not like that doesn't help you in this moment, but I hope it like helps you feel like, it's not just like you being like shredded on the inside or unmanageable to yourself or whatever, and that also it's going to pass. It just takes time. Yes, math. And it just does in our family. It's an extreme. So I don't want to scare people, because there's plenty of people that can take these medications just fine. But in my family, there's a liver anomaly, like it's a genetic mutation, and then on top of that, just some other sensitivity. And for a long time, it was really difficult to figure out. Like my mother's brother and sister, who were really, well, one of them's now in non-physical, one of them's still in physical. they're really hardy people. They were go-getters, both of them, with long professional careers and high energy levels and things like that. And all of a sudden, it would feel like they would just crash, like out of the blue, psychologically, I mean. And it would go from fully functioning to like committed for a while. And people wouldn't see it coming. It usually wasn't in and around the time of any family tragedies. People just couldn't figure it out until we started sort of charting it, because it just kept happening. It kept happening to both of them at really random times, like 15, 20 years apart in some cases. And then it happened to my mother one time. And then they tried to put me on oral steroids. They put me on a really low dose because I was already hypersensitive to stuff. And it was crazy. I took the smallest dosage orally you can take. I took it in the parking lot, went into the thrift store because I was shopping for costumes for things, and got a whole bunch of stuff in my size, and, tried it on, and it looked okay. And then I went and, got more because I was trying to figure out costuming for certain things. And then when I went back in, all of a sudden the stuff I tried on before, like, didn't fit, like, at all, not just a little bit. And I kept getting confused and thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired or something. And I kept sizing up and sizing up and sizing up, but I was in a room without a mirror. And then when I went down the hall to look in the mirror, I mean, I had gone from like a size 4 to like a size 12 in an hour and a half in this thrift store from, the inflation. Just like poof, like immediate. It was immediate. That's how sensitive. And so then that sort of caught the attention of the family, and they went back, they tracked it. And every time it had happened, like that they were actually like committed and had these huge psychological crashes, almost every time they'd had like a sinus infection. A few weeks before that, they'd done normal antibiotics and a round of normal average steroids. They were fine during that time, right? Which is why I know people were catching on. A few weeks would pass, and then they would crash. And it was the steroids. And unfortunately, then there was a huge medical mishap on my aunt's behalf, where the nurse actually, poor lady, I'm sure she was heavily, heavily overworked and exhausted, but she wrote the wrong thing down on something and gave her, like, not only were we starting to figure out that she was sensitive and probably shouldn't have steroids at all, but we weren't, it wasn't a solid thing yet. But then the nurse, like, actually had written dosages that could have killed her, taking one dose, and she took it for like 3 days. And all of a sudden, like, her crash wasn't like, it didn't come on subtly. Like, she went from traveling at 84 years old around the world and coming back from a trip and getting a little infection to 3 days later, like, trying to hurt herself and hang herself out of a window at her retirement place. I mean, it was nuts. It fried her brain. Yeah, she's with little guy, and she said, she would be sort of in the background, on and off, because they're hanging. Yeah, I mean, like, please don't be scared, Amanda, because, like, you got appropriate dosage and it'll run your system. But, and that sweet nurse, like, she felt terrible. She lost her job. And unfortunately, she must have been just really tired or something, because she'd had a long career. And so something must have been going on. But in the window where we were figuring out that she had written it, like, instead of like 2 milligram doses, they were like 25 milligram doses and more than once a day, and scary stuff. She had also over medicated another person at that time as well with a different medication, and so she unfortunately lost her job. And my aunt sadly never recovered. They couldn't ever get her chemistry back. And so I'm sure when she finally was able to cross into non-physical, she was pretty relieved. Like, she expressed really wanting to just leave at that point. But she lived a fantastically wild and crazy and fun and well-traveled life up until that point. So I'm sure she has no regrets for the most part. But oh, and yeah, you can. When I had injections in my spine, right? I said to the doctor, "Hey, we're finding in our family we're hypersensitive to these steroids," and like I said, almost allergic, because even when they're given an average dosage, his family members have problems, and like I was hypersensitive, at least physically, like I blew up like a balloon. Like you're supposed to gain weight on it, but not the first hour. Um, and so he told me at the time, this doctor, that I was wrong and crazy, and that it's impossible to be allergic to steroids, and no one was sensitive to this stuff, and it was different anyway. And of course, it was a pain doc situation too, where he was saying, I won't help you in other ways, like with your physical therapy and your medication, unless you get these spinal injections. And so, of course, I did it. And, it was some ugly stuff. I got the shots, and we walked around the medical place because we had to go drop something off in a different office, like a cardiology office. And before we got to our car, I had collapsed on the hospital floor, and I woke up in the ER, and then I stayed for several days. And but the emotional flare is what I remember the very most from that. Is like I went from feeling pretty normal to like everything like broke my heart or made me feel like just like I'd been shattered into pieces. And so I think that the drugs, it really can, and then it also can, anything that's like affects your chemistry like that, then your body will respond by adjusting its own chemistry, its own hormones and things a little bit differently. And so then you feel just a little off from that as well, because it's responding to the medicine and making adjustments. So I guess, this was a really long-winded way of saying, I think you're going to feel better really soon. We know there are people with POTS. There's a hyper POTS with adrenal surges. Really? Hyper POTS? I don't know anything. Hold on, I'm writing that down before I. Hyper POTS. Adrenal surges. That's probably enough for me to find it. Okay. Miss Krista, sorry for all the, I know it's not exactly uplifting talk, but what other classes do you take? Yeah, I took notes. I'll be looking for it. Amanda, do you feel like some of this emotionality started around the time you started feeling unwell, or is it from way before then? English 101, US history, math, and freshman studies. Exciting. I have piecemealed my collegiate experience over a number of years, and when I was like, I don't know, I think I was 28 or 9, I went back and did like 2 semesters to get more credits at a community college, and um, and was taking my history requirement, and just lucked out. You know, sometimes you luck out and you get a teacher that like, or a professor in that case, that it just loves their job and really has a lot to say on the matter. And so my history teacher was, um, he was this Harley Davidson riding a Vietnam vet, um, sort of a hippie, but also extremely into history. And so I was super glad, like, that, and, you know, and I don't think I would have appreciated him if I'd sat his class when I was 17 and 18 years old. I don't think I would have had the same appreciation. And so I was really excited, actually. I felt like being older and taking the collegiate basics was much more fun than when I was younger. They all suck. Oh, I'm sorry. What in this modern day and age, what does freshman studies entail? Like, you know, in the big internet age, like, don't they just say, you know, welcome to the collegiate experience? If you have any questions, Google it, or what? Amanda, if you're still in the room, we love you very, very, very much. Um, and you know, uh, we're sending you. Are you still here? Where's my notebook? In case you're here. Hold on. Prepares you for job interviews and works your personality and soft skills. Interesting. Well, that's better than I remember it. Give the school more money, if you ask me. Well, you would know better than those of us that aren't there these days, especially. I'm gonna check out for summer semester, and when fall semester comes, I'm not gonna let myself down with so many classes. Yeah, that's smart. That's very smart. Can you do some of them, or are you able to do a lot of them online, or are they all on campus? Oh, we've got thunder and snowflake now. Interesting. Online, I work. Yeah, she's got a lot. Not just a little bit of children. she, she has quite a few. I'm glad it's online though. Are you able to do working online as well? I needed chemistry in class and 2 nursing classes and would have had my BSN. Back in the old job now, so I have to go back through the 90-day probation period. So I'm in the office till April. I need to work from home. What kind of job is that? Twice a week to see patients. I travel tomorrow to see some patients. Are they home health? For a group by a Blue Cross Blue Shield. We manage a small insurance company here as well, but I go out and see the Medicare members in home for like wellness. That's awesome. So I haven't had ever one that was just a standard wellness check, but I've had a season of life where I had a home health care person, and I was really grateful for them. Now, I only had two because at the time, really, I had one regular one and one, that was like the backup if the regular one couldn't be there. And it didn't last very long, but I was really sad when it was over just because they were like the only people I saw for the most part. And, it felt like a person getting to talk with other people. Blood pressure, like A1C and PBD screen, diabetic eye exams. Cool. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are really appreciative that you come to them at this juncture. I bet with your disposition over the years, like you've had some serious fans in your patients, and probably some cool relationships too, right? Where you are one of the few people they speak to and see, and so you get to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and the super weird about their lives, and um, I'm sure many of them are delighted when to see you coming. So I think that's cool. Yeah, Miss Cat, I'm like you. I've sort of stuck to my specialists pretty exclusively for a while now, but I'm starting to think it may be time to, add to the group just in case of retirement or anything else. Um, but too many cooks in the kitchen was getting frustrating for me, and so I understand why you feel that way. Yeah. Yeah, that is different. That's different than I imagined it was, right? Like I was thinking that, they were like, oh, if we get to see Krista again, but I guess if they see different people every time, it might be a little bit different. Okay, so my face is just slick as hell because I'm doing the uh, slugging. But Amanda, I know you're gone, but I'm putting this up, and I'll tell you what time I put it up at. And I'll probably make it into a better looking one, like using other markers and maybe do a reverse print or whatever. But this is a sigil for you right now, just to look at when you're not feeling okay. And sometimes they're for protection and things. This one's for sort of, well, it says Amanda is rising. And so we'll make it nicer, but that's what that is. At like 1 hour and directly 1 hour in. is my since I've got the camera on. This is the footwear of the day since we're celebrating the things we love. Whoop-a-boo. Whoop-a-boo-boo-boo. They are patent leather, platform, Mary Jane's, and the shoe of the day. Shoes make me happy, so I celebrate them with weirdness. Found this girl on Poshmark a while ago. She does costuming and set dressing for short films, for a couple of the more the smaller creative movie houses companies, and so they, once they're done on set, like if they've been worn once or twice on set or whatever, she launders them and sells them, and they don't mind. They pay for them, but they don't have the room to keep them in storage or whatever. So she has a lot of shoes that literally, if they were worn like twice, and they were on a very clean set, so the soles don't even have marks on them. And so yeah, I was purchasing from her because she didn't care. She would set things because they originally bought them, and she had things in every shape and size because she was costuming everybody, and had lots of different home decor because she was, decorating a diverse range of sets for movies, and because she hadn't originally paid for them, she would sell things like these shoes, for like $5. I also admired her go-getterness, her ability to be like, hey, I just figured out how to have my artistic job and turn it into a full-on second set of, second stream of income without even having to do much. Hey, pigs. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Your oldest daughter, she is here today. Well, her mom is beautiful too, so that's why. She's a beautiful mom. How's your little guy you're taking care of? We've been asking Krista about school and work, which maybe she's bored with because she does so much of it, but I'm interested. Gonna be right by mama. Does that mean you can do lunch? What? Somebody's making a bundle of your things on Poshmark right now. So I sent them an offer, a discount offer, because they're liking your Tarot Deck the Halls mugs pics, and they're putting some in a bundle. So I sent them a discount. So we'll see what happens. But that happened like just now while we were sitting here. Like you logged in or started talking in the room, I guess, and that happened. That was interesting to me. Not yet. They keep saying it's coming. Let's see here. Do you have snow? Do you have snow pics? Yeah, it keeps like with Cat. I'm with Cat, like in the area where they've been talking about snow for like this serious winter weather warning has been going on since noon today. It goes until late tomorrow or whatever. But it was supposed to start at 6 p.m. and I haven't seen anything. I'm gonna have to look out the window now here. Oh, okay, yeah, it started. I looked out the window like 10 minutes ago. There's nothing. Now there's a lot of ground cover, so it just started. Did we get a lot in Brian-Salon? In the Caribbean, there's no snow. I'm feeling shock.
Indeed.
After the ice melts, we wear shorts for a few days just to rub it into the rest of the world. Hold on, I'm gonna go take a picture real quick to show my snow. Show your snow. Hashtag bored people problems. Be right back. Okay, so here's the first one. It's the streaks are how fast the snow is falling, and they're big, fluffy flakes. So, and it just started. That's what it's done in about 10 minutes. The second picture is just because it's our backyard again. Um, our our skeleton in the backyard, who is an all-weather skeleton at this point. He is out there dining al fresco. Let's see here. Joe could take us a picture of blue water and warmth, probably. Hi, Miss Claudia. Hold on, I'm scrolling back through. Ashton went off the road today on the way, broke her belt. Like fan belt or seat belt? Maybe that I need to keep scrolling here. Let's see.
I'm a little too far from the water, but you could get blue sky and warmth if you want.
Seat belt. No, around 3. Oh, 3 Kristas. I'm not sure what that means. Alternator. Okay, that's why I wanted to know, like, if it was a belt, a different belt. Oh gosh, thank you. Yeah, Manic Panic. Thank you. I think I updated it at some point this week a little bit. Oh yeah, well I can turn the camera back off because I'm doing that slugging thing, right, where you put all the slimy stuff on, and so you can't see all of the pieces with the purple and the electric colors and kind of stuff. But thank you. Yeah, I try to add color to my aura unnaturally if I'm not adding it through spiritual endeavors. She went off the road. Is she? But is Ashton okay? I had a scary vision about Ashton. Are those people still in town? Hi to all the people here. We're glad you're here. I mean, I don't know, Kat, but like I always do find that like I'll be feeling like a certain energy and like feel schlumpy in a specific area of my life, and then I've just started using sort of manic panic to try and add those colors back into my aura that coincide with those either chakras or the like Edgar Casey book of aura, or just my experience having seen them a lot more when I was younger. But I always feel like it's one of those things where if you can't figure out how to jumpstart it one way, try another way. No, ma'am, I do not have my camera on. I had it on really briefly, and that's when Krista saw. I flashed. Well, it was sort of a hanky vision, and I sat with it for a while, trying to decide like if it was just me having fear for her. But I don't think my fear for her would manifest in the vision that I had, and so I think that it is possible that this woman's like that. Like, um, how does she? If you know the answer to this question, I would feel grateful to know it. How does she know these people? Did she know them from where she lived before, or are they friends from the internet? And they've been friends a long time, maybe even from the internet, but now they're socializing in person. Like, what is their story? They work together. Were they close when they did that, or did they just? I guess what I'm saying is, were they really tight, and that's why this woman is here, or were they sort of acquaintances, and this woman was running, like you already said, from a different state, and so she contacted people that she knows that aren't in those two states and went that direction. Like, what is your impression of their original connection, like friendship wise? Yeah. See, okay, so it felt that way to me too. They were people that worked together, and maybe they went out and had fun together when they were all in the same place. But it felt to me like there'd been no effort made to stay close until she realized that, um, you know, it was a place she could run to, and then the attention and like the intensity of having a narcissist like that turn their eyes back on you probably was exciting for A as well. Yeah, she needs to call CPS, but like seriously, like what here's what it was is and you were interfering. Like, so I don't think it's something you need to be like afraid of, but it is something you need to be aware of, and it's so ridiculous that I can't even believe that this is happening in a way that I need to say it out loud. But so it was Ashton and this woman who I don't know really what she looks like, but my brain substituted a person, I think. And they were hanging around a lot, and they'd come back, on Saturday, and it was clear they were not making moves to relocate to anywhere. They were staying there as long as they could milk it. And it was one of those rare times, which has happened to me in real life in person, where I can hear somebody's thoughts. And sometimes I respond. I do it to Joe a lot, but our relationship is a little different. But so he can vouch for that. There's some times where I answer him and he says, "Oh my God, I only thought that. I didn't say it out loud." But there have been other times where with cold ass strangers, I've been able to really hear their thoughts. And this woman in this vision was trying to figure out a way. Hi, A. She was trying to figure out a way how to monetize every single person in that house. Like, for example, like she was curious if she could get A to do certain types of work for her. Like she was like contemplating things like almost like a pimp. It felt like pimp energy, to be honest with you. Like she felt like um she still feels like she's on top of that situation. And I know that Ashton, you've said to her, no, my mother-in-law don't give up, like I wouldn't be like shrugging that off, and that's good and valid. She shouldn't be, but it feels like she really super duper believes that she could get you to do pretty much anything she asked you to. Hmm? Wait, hold on. I I call you out. What are you talking about? Plucky does what? I called you out? I'm confused. And so anyway, like I was awake, so I kept trying to sort of shake it off, right? And and it was like she was you saying, "Let's go to a social, let's have a girls' night out or whatever." And it turned out that it was like you guys were escorts, and she just failed to tell you because she was just going to take the cash for you guys socializing. I hear your thoughts too, Cat. I don't think I knew that. Well, I'm so glad that that's true. I believe that that's true, Ash, and I don't think that you're necessarily a pushover. I do think you're dealing with like a class A, like clinically diagnosable narcissist. Now, the nurses in this room maybe would disagree with me, but I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you say no, and that's a good thing, right? But like, it truly is. It's like she's always thinking of, you know, fast money, not long time money. And I believe she takes those kiddos with her, even though when she could leave them behind with safe adults, because she wants people to see them in the car, because she deeply in her gut believes that there'll be better tips if they see the children in the car. Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like. I mean, like you know, I don't think you have to be terrified. It didn't look like she was trying to get you in a car and like sell you, um, to the narcos. but but it did look like you were like, girls' night out. Let's go. I've got these friends. Oh, I know these friends. Like we'll meet them out, for drinks or whatever. And that she was basically it was basically like escorting. And so I didn't see you like taking off all your clothes or anything or hooking, but I did see that she'll take advantage of anyone that lets her, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And she you know she sees that you're a young attractive female and believes that you're marketable, right? And so in some ways, from a narcissist, that's the best compliment you can get. But I don't know. Oh, Kat, you're right. You're right. Where I'm like, did you just think this because now some of that though is, to be fair, because the rods are doing things. And I know I didn't ask a question. But I guess there have been some times where it's like, did you just think this? So you're right. But with Joe, like I'll answer him and he'll be like, what? And I'll be like, well, I'm just answering you. He'll be like, I didn't say anything out loud.
Yeah, and your timing is spot on because it's like as soon as I have the thought, the next thing that happens is you answer it.
It's an alarming skill to have sometimes. It's one of those things where it's like you don't really want to be able to read people's minds. Yeah, CPS. Yeah, we've all been chanting CPS in this chat for a few days now. Well, I hope he's a decent fella that can is impervious to narcissist manipulation. I keep every time I hear this girl too, it's sort of like she sort of has a husky voice, like not like I'm not saying
Does she
not
sound
like
like Kim
Kathleen
Carnes?
Turner. Hmm?
Does she sound like Kim Carnes? I'm dating myself.
I'm trying to think of what Kim Carnes sounded like. Well, I was dating myself because I was saying that she didn't sound like Kathleen Turner, right? Um,
All right, yeah, she
Not
has a famous husky voice. That's
yeah, not it wasn't quite that low, but there is some couple people that are like on television that are like they're sort of fast talkers, but with like a sort of raspy, like a rasp to their voice, and that's like what I keep hearing with that girl. Uh oh. Yeah, I wish I could remember this actress's name because like I even see like her face. Um, I can't place what she's on, or I could like send something, that that shows her. Mm, let's see. I'm gonna give myself a second just to try and locate her. Hold on. I'll just have to hunt for it later, but I'll find it and send it along to show to Ashton, just because I keep wondering if this woman looks a little like this actress too. No, I was talking about the lady, the bossy lady in from Texas. Welcome back, Cap. So Reddit, he had a Reddit thing dating back a few years now, or what? Was it active the whole time, or was it just something that was posted on like once or twice? Why? Is there a fellow with a raspy voice we should be worried about? Or is that Ashton's new beau? Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I hope everybody's having fun playtime now that mom's off work. No, I suspect that is the case now, maybe, but that's no, I was not talking about that. Not at the time, anyway. Fair enough. I just hope if he goes around the house, he's not a pushover in any way, and maybe his energy will run off others. Well, now you know. Now I know it's hard to be neutral, but is he cute? Mm. I mean, I feel like there's probably quite a bit of them around there, in that area. Take you two-step in and make you his queen. Watch the stars from the truck bed every Thursday, 'cause that's the day he makes it clean. Oh, that's a solid job, though. That's a very solid job. That's nice, too. So he's a little bit older. Okay. That's a good, not scary age difference. No. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the bird eating seeds. I didn't know you guys could hear that. She's eating her millet that hangs off the side of the cage. If it's bothering you, I can turn my mic off. First, I was like clipping my nails. Like, what are you talking? Oh, it's the clickety clack of the bird beak. And she moved up front too because she knows there's a conversation. So when there's a conversation, she moves it like into the circle, even if she's not chatting directly. Yeah, no, no. I mean, I think I probably am too comfortable around a microphone, but not that comfortable. I keep looking at her now. She keeps looking at me like why are you staring at me? I had a feeling that it would be something like that, Pigs. I had a feeling. But that still means he feels connected to agriculture, at least in some areas, and that he feels confident that he can grow a myriad of things. And when it becomes, when the med cards, when they become more prevalent and stuff, people have to. You probably know this already, but if you have a med card, you can only use the med card to purchase things that, the shops and stuff are full of things that were made in your home state, right? They were grown there and cultivated there. So, people in different states, it's smart if you're ahead of the curve to get set up, because then you can be some of the first ones on the menu when things go live. Well, that is what she studied, right? Mm, what about, does he have kiddo or kiddos? I think I made the wrong assumption because I know that she did like math elites and that kind of competition thing when she was in high school. Where did she meet this person? At work? Or at the local two-stepping place? See, my age shows every time when I assume people are meeting each other in person first. Does he go and do two-stepping though? Like, I keep seeing him there. Hmm. I don't know why. Then it's a very specific, like, it's a very specific partner line dance that I keep seeing, and it's a very specific song I keep hearing. Hmm. That'll be interesting to see if this fits in for someone else in the future or something. Yeah, because it's a really specific dance, and I keep hearing it's Brooks and Dunn Neon Moon playing over and over again. Be alright, long as there's light from a neon moon. If you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely. Watch your broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon. Sun rolls down in my side of town. A lonely feeling. Whole world turns blue. Oh, since coming through my door, Kitty Cat. Since both of you are here, I would like to reiterate that I will, in the next 24 hours, be working on. I may make a tertiary TikTok. Say that 10 times fast. For, um, make it a circus. Make it a circus situation. And that being said, then, if you guys could please secure yourself TikToks that that are related to or named after your companies or projects, so that we could link up and start. I knew. Oh, Claudia, yeah, I knew, because you and I have a date later, don't we? as long as you're feeling okay. Pardon me, say again, say for me, please, say for me. So Kat, all I was saying is, could you please get a TikTok channel that has your glass company name? Could you please make yourself a TikTok channel that has your glass company name? And even if you don't want to put stuff on it right away, I can then reference it when I start doing stuff on TikTok. And same with Pixie Dust Creations. Do do do. Sure, maybe. That sounds good. I'll help. I mean, I'll totally help you if you need help, Miss Cat. I'm just talking about it because it'll help me do the part I'm supposed to do too. And then if you want me to set you up one, I 1,000% can handle that, doing that in like 3 minutes. I heard you. Did you say something that I just then repeated? Oh, now Brooks and Dunn a second there. I will say they give one of the best concerts in country music, second only to Big and Rich. So I would add, I would make sure that the channel is named, Broken Pieces or something like that, and that your screen name is Broken Pieces or whatever, um, and then yes, either have the photo be, oh gosh golly, the photo be that picture you have of your beautiful why do I keep wanting to call it workplace crest, like a family crest, but that's not what it is. But so but it would be nice to have, to have an image to represent your page. Now, if you didn't want to show that piece as your logo necessarily immediately because you want to reveal it, I could make you one of these little cartoon doohickeys like Joe and I have that have, really easily actually, because my dumbass paid for membership to a little place where I can make these. And I've got another month or so to be able to do that. I don't know. Yeah. I think we showed her at one time too, the China jewelry. But I mean, right now, especially where she is spiritually, like she's like perfectly primed to be making these pieces, like she said, like for chakra work and that kind of stuff, especially as she gets more feedback in the form of like tingles and prickles and goosebumps and things. Like, she'll be able to follow the goosebumps like braille and create the things that can help some people. But yes, she would. I feel dumb every time you use the word bevel, but could you please define it for me? Is it like sort of a mold in which you can put items and arrange them so that they form a shape? Circle mold tray filled with glue. Okay. So I had sort of had the general idea, right? It's like a cookie cutter to help shape things that are yeah, I understood. I don't know why I'm still repeating myself. Let me see. Let's see. That's pretty. Those would make if people had like marital china or something that either broke or they just have no need to use year after year because they have too many place settings or whatever. It would be a lovely anniversary gift to have one of them, to bring one of them to someone and make. So I'm probably just going to end this live just because um, we're not doing any reading, and if I read um, independently later, um, maybe I'll do a pick a card or something. A favorite grandma cup. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, oh, the other what else? There was one other thing. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought because the grandma cup was such a good idea. Um, oh, it was. Hey, Pix, do you think that I could get Krista, like if I got her to, um, if I could get her, I know she may not want to be on camera and I respect that, but if I could get her like in here where I could record a short where I asked her to just talk briefly about her experience getting read, do you think she'd be willing to do that? The same goes for anyone that's had a reading from me. Like, um, you know, if you would be willing to have me just make, one of those like 630 or 60-second shorts that I can then put up on my TikTok where it's just like, hey, talk a little bit about your experience being read. Would you guys be open to doing that? That way, if people come across a channel that's not very populated, right, they get immediate ideas about, you know, the quality of the work. I think the consistency of the work is my problem and not the quality necessarily. Okay, thank you. So yeah, over the course of the next few days I'll be asking people, "Hey, can we record a sound bite, please?" So I can post it up several different places and basically have reviews. If your grandpa has wrought iron kitchen cabinet hardware, cool. I bought some of her blue willow plates to make family stuff. I have. Ooh, I'm gonna. right before we end the live. Hold on one second. I'm going to go grab something. Okay, so Hubs is being a peach and grabbing one or two pieces from a different set, but this is one of the sets. Let's see here. So this is, it says it, oh, here he is. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay, so the first one I was going to show you, it says hand painted, made in Japan on the back of the, this way, on the back of the plates. And then it's got this really interesting high glaze, and it's got the awesome trees. And so that's one set that we have come into possession of. Here is a cup. They're that really fine, thin, people, china. The inner cup is glazed. Actually, it's hard to tell, but it's like almost glazed, where it's sort of like that iridescent rainbow color. And then again, it's got the blossoms. And then this other set was my great grandmother, my maternal great grandmother, which I mentioned that because all of the ladies on that side of the family tend to have babies really late in life. So even though she's only my great grandmother, she was born in 1857. My great grandmother was born in 1857. And this was her, they called it a chocolate set. It, instead of like if ladies, if they were having a party where they hosted and didn't have tea, they had hot chocolate. And it had a lot more like little mini plates than like an average tea set. And it has a couple of really big serving bowls, so it was like for sweets or whatever. And I've got so many of them, and they're very old because so she was born in 50 like 1857-ish, which means these were like 1875 because they were something she got when she got married. And we have so many, so many. They're, faux gold edged, and they have the butterflies on them. And I think this flower that seems to be the focal flower, I think they were like referred to as forget-me-nots because I think they use a lot of forget-me-not patterns. So my point is, like, if you are wind up looking for plates and cups, I could give you like a third of this set and still have a lot of it left. Into the cup. It's very thin as well. Hold on, handwritten something. 1741. It says 1741. So actually, she must have gotten these, from her mother, or because these predate her birth. And her mother had her not as late in life, but still late in life. So, yeah, this 41 would be what, 16 years before she was born. But yeah, it's marked off basically. Like the marking says 1841, or I'm sorry, 1741. 1741. Wait. I'm saying 1841 because, anyway. So these were in the family a long time. And that's why they're so strange in some ways, I guess. And not always uniform. But there is the 1741. And then they have these numbers, like up above. So I think this was plate number 4 because these, I think there were only like 6 of these in the set, but there were so many of these and of the smaller version of the plate. I don't know what else you guys are saying. Let's see. Dark red Avon drinkware. Ooh. I just share with my set with my sister. Ooh, yeah. Trace a window. That'd be fun. Demi test. Yes, thank you. So, yeah, the Japanese ones, they, hand painted, made in Japan, but then there's a marking, so it probably was a sort of more widely manufactured thing. These other ones, I'm not so sure. Cherry blossoms. Transom window, yeah, with saucers. Or like, you could do the transom window and make it look, well, maybe that's what she means by saucers, is like, breaking them apart, and especially if they were like that thick red glass you were talking about in the goblets. You could do almost like your own um, stained glass window. I've always, in all of my poverty stricken apartments, utilized a lot of things that I just had in my possession as art. I would just figure out a way to combine them on the walls and make it look like it was interesting. And so there was a period of time there in my late teens, in my first apartments and stuff, where I was getting all types of scans at the doctors because they were already trying really hard to figure out what was making me so sick. It took another like almost 20 years, but so anyway, I had all of these different, and back then they didn't just give you a CD, right? They gave you your film to carry around and take to the doctors, and multiple copies or whatever. So I realized that I had some back windows that were up over, because I had an apartment up over a storefront, and it was up over the alley where the restaurants dumped their things, and they were really busy there at night. And I didn't want curtains because the cats were always hanging on them and stuff like that. I had wild cats at that point. And so I figured out that I could take the scans and trim them to fit in the panes of the window, and basically have this black and white stained glass window that was like pictures of my uterus and my brain and my teeth. It was ridiculous. There's a nip on that is blue and gold. It's gorgeous. Check out the pinkish party in the world. 6x10 films. Check out the pinkish party. There's the pinkish party in the world. Oh, come on, phone. Let's see. Oh, pretty, Pixie. 2 sets of that. That's very beautiful. It's a book. Well, it's a festival. The pinkish party in the world. Hold on a second here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, phone. The pinkish party in the world. Pinkest. Let's try pinkest. Is it the pinkest party on earth? Macon, Georgia's International Cherry Blossom Festival? Oh, yeah. Okay. You said you had written that it was a festival. Here it is. Here's the... Here it is. Pinkest Party on Earth, Macon, Georgia's International Cherry Blossom Festival by Ed Grissamore. It looks like the photos that show up with that look beautiful. They look like just like other or you get it, cherry blossom festivals. The road lines are painted. That's fancy. They do stuff around here like that, but only for sports, right? So, like when our baseball team won the World Series a few years back, they put the team colors in all of the huge fountains around the town, because we're known as the city of fountains. And I mean, that'll give me away to some people, but some people won't care. And so that's a lot of fountains to turn the water colors, right? And then in the last few years, sports fans around here were happy because they won the World Series in baseball, and then they won the Super Bowl. And I can't remember. Then I think the next year they were in the final two in the World Series and lost or something.
Why do they call it the World Series when only
Right,
Americans participate in it?
right. So because they're arrogant as all get out. I mean, I think, yeah, it's dumb because they're dumb. um, or I don't know. Who knows? Like if I'm trying to be less pessimistic, I guess we could argue maybe that once upon a time they were hoping other countries would join in, but I just don't think that's really the case. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's utter and complete arrogance. Do do do. Arrogance. Trying to figure out where to place these little saucers just temporarily for I guess here. I just don't want to knock them to the floor. Let's see. White dogs are pink. Pink dog. Lady started as her daughter is on the board of the MS Foundation. Your uncle would know about the baseball stuff, you mean, Miss Cat Cat? Oh man. StreamYard is saying, hey lady, where's your money? um yes. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out. I very, very much you have a tournament I have to make an appearance at or I'm out. Tournament. Is that online? It must be online. Have so much fun. Let us know how it goes. Sending you love and kisses, and we'll be in touch about everything soon. Now, Kat, if you're able to stay up, Claudia and I we're planning on recording not live elsewhere briefly, and we need an intermediary, right? I assume that she would be more comfortable with a female than having Joe there. But I also want to say if you're getting too tired, Kat, or um, if certain topics are triggering for you, then please by all means say no, and we'll figure out something else. Play a game called Pop Slots. You win gold coins that you can trade for rooms in Vegas. Ooh. Ooh la la, Pop Slots. Okay, well, then we'll all have a great time in Vegas after you win us all, you know, room and board together. Okay. All right. Enjoy your thing, and yes, if we need you, we'll let you know because I just need one intermediary, so that if I wind up channeling or something, that somebody else is like bearing witness as well. So okay, so Kat, so I'm gonna send. It's gonna be on Streamyard. I will send both of you a link, and Claudia links, and we will be recording, um, but that's just for a record. You have 5 million gold coins. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, well we love you, Pixie, and I'll send everybody else a link. Till next time, let's kill the cast. Come on. And ooh, the Bellagio or the Grand.